few quick tips for the day. So right around, I guess it was around 2 o'clock, 3 p.m., my marks started to go off the board. So you can trace back all the way out to the mark I made this morning, and there was kind of making a line. So, and I was hoping it might swing back, but it never did. Like, I was making marks down on the wood. Oh, I don't even know if you can see it. But so by sunset time, I had to figure out kind of where the sun was, and then I had to turn my board. I think I actually swung this end that way. That end pretty much stayed where it was. So I'll double check in the morning that the sunrise is still casting a shadow on this end of the board, but just getting that position figured out. Hey, sissy. And the other thing that I had to do was I dropped my sundial tip down. Like this board used to be mounted like up on top of this board, but I took it down and dropped it down here. And that's because it was running off the board while the sun was still in the sky, and so I had to drop it down pretty much so that I get the nail shadow to show up on my board as long as the sun was above those trees. Once it's below those trees, I guess I'm done anyway. So depending on how tall this shadow casting object, I think it's called a gnome, I'm not sure, but if I had it taller, it'd be way off the board. But if I made it a little shorter, it comes back on the board. And I figured it was better because I think I was running out of points at like at least 30 or 45 minutes sooner, just because the sun was casting a shadow off of this higher gnome off the board. But because I dropped it down a little bit, that bought me a whole extra hour, and I got one more point back there at the end of the day. So I think it was worth it for this method. The sundial doesn't actually have to be that tall. I've never had a nail this tall for the straight line method, but I just wanted to try it this morning. But another trick, I guess, as the shadow was getting faint near the end of the day, to be able to see the shadow on the wood is sometimes hard. So it helps if you have a piece of paper. Oh, I don't have it, but you slide the piece of paper and you can see the shadow on that white background. So maybe for your early morning and late afternoon points, just put a piece of paper down right at the end of your sundial if you're having trouble seeing it on the wood, and tape it good, and make your marks on that paper. Tape it good so you run the, I like to do it on the wood if I can, because the wind won't blow the paper and the rain won't crinkle the paper or whatnot. But if you have a real nice day, a couple days, no wind, no rain, you might be able to put a piece of paper just to help you see. Or maybe if you see the shadow on the piece of paper, maybe take like a nail and like, instead of writing on the paper, just stick a point on the paper, and then it'll make an impression on the wood underneath, and then you can move the paper away, but it just helps you to see where it was. All right, that's all the tips I have for today. I think, sissy, you are just in the way. So I think the board is now aligned and it's at the proper height. So I'm still gonna need one more day of testing just to make sure I have marks that stay on the board all day. They don't run off like they did today. And also that the sunrise is still hitting on this board. But if I can do that, I think we'll be good to go, because the shadow, it won't move that much in the next 3 to 4 days. So if I can make sure one day is on the board, on the top of the board, the sun will be getting closer behind me. So that means the shadow will be kind of coming this way. So if I'm just on the top of the board there, or in the middle, there should be enough board to get my marks for the rest of the time I'm collecting these next few days. So that's it for now. Shalom, and may Allah bless as you continually seek out His truth and love with a pure heart.